Hi, I'm Jordan. This is Jordan Plays Blue, and this is my monthly roundup for January 2021. It was a good month of gaming. I will be honest with you, my basement where I record is very cold because I record with the heat off, and there is like a foot of snow outside here in Pittsburgh, and I'm really cold. So I'm going to do a shorter video this month because I haven't been able to find a warm day in the basement to do one of these. So I'm going to do it tonight because I was already doing some recording for some other things, and I'm just going to keep it short. I'm going to talk about, usually in one of these roundups I'll talk about some games that I liked, some games I didn't like, and we'll go from there. This month I'm going to keep it a little shorter. I'm going to do 2 games that I didn't like, 2 games I did like, and we'll go from there. So let's start with some of the ones that weren't keepers. All right, so the first game is Lavinia. This is by DeVere Games. Now this game is good. I think the thing that's keeping it from my collection, or keeping it from me keeping, is that it didn't feel great to us. And I know with limited space, I only am really keeping games that I think are really cool. And so this one, it has a track down the middle, and you're going to be moving pieces up or down this track. And when you are landing on different spaces, you're going to be drafting cards, and then you're going to be turning those cards. Those are grape cards, and you're going to put them in baskets, and then you sell the baskets to wineries, and they're going to make wine out of them, and you get points based off of the quality of the wine that you're giving them, or the quality of the grapes that you're giving them to produce wine, and you get points for that. So it seemed interesting, but it was one of those games where it just didn't feel like you had great, cool options every single time. There were a number of turns where, depending on how the cards came out, you're like, I don't really want any of these, but I guess I'll take those. And it wasn't just like one game. It was like we played it a number of times, and every single time it was kind of like, not awesome every single time. And I really want games that, those turns, you can have a downturn sometimes, but I want most of the turns to be really cool and exciting and give you something fresh to do, and it just didn't really capture us that way. I think the artwork was really cool. Showed some pictures of it while I was talking, and I think it's a cool production if you're into winemaking and want like a lighter game that's not like viticulture or Vinos, or some of those other winemaking games are kind of bigger. This is a smaller game. This, it's a small box. It's primarily a card game with some like cardboard chits, and that's about it. So it has, it has that going for it. So if you're into that theme, check it out. It's not very difficult. It's probably a light to maybe medium weight game, depending on who you are. It's probably on the lighter side of things. So check it out if that's something that's interesting to you. I thought it was good, not great, but if you look online, there's a lot of really positive feedback about the game. So maybe it's just me. It just didn't click for me. So that's it. But another game that is not a keeper, and this is a game that generally I just didn't enjoy, and the people I played it with I also just didn't enjoy, and that's Cloud Control. And Cloud Control is a party game, so a lot of people aren't playing it right now anyway. I was able to play it over at a get-together with some family, and that's primarily where I play my party games anyway. So, even with this time of social distancing, had some extended family over safely, of course, and I pulled this game out because we had a bigger-ish group. It wasn't huge, but big enough group to play this game. And so we tried it out. Cloud Control is sort of like a Pictionary style game in which you have a word and you have a timer, and you have a card with words on it, and you're trying to, get the other players to guess the word by you giving them clues, so kind of like Pictionary, but instead of drawing words, you're going to be using these cloud pictures, and these cloud pictures have different shapes on them. I'll show some pictures up here so I don't have to keep showing the camera, but you're going to have these cloud pictures kind of like right there, and they have different shapes on them, and you're going to put them together to create words, and you have to try to get them to guess what they are. Like you're laying on the ground and you see the clouds going over, and the concept was really cool, and I thought it was really interesting, and that's why one of the reasons I had wanted to review it is I do like these kind of artistic party games. I think they work really well, and my extended family really enjoys playing those kinds of games. So the kind of Tattoo Stories, Monstrosity are 2 new ones that my family's been super into, but this one just really fell flat for us. And I think primarily it's because of the word cards that are in the game, not the concept of using the clouds to create the picture. The game really broke down because the words on the cards are so hard that it's just frustrating. And when you get a pic, kind of like when in Pictionary, and you look at the card and it's like a movie title and you've never heard of the movie and you don't know how to draw that picture, right? It was like that in Cloud Control. Only you knew what the words were, but you would look at it and be like, I have no idea how to create this with these abstract pictures. And so you make it, and then everybody's looking at you and they're guessing something and you're like totally wrong, and you just kind of point at it. It was like that over and over and over again. Like we were having games where, like rounds where nobody was scoring any points, or you would get like you would successfully do one word during your time frame. And that's just not fun for a party game to kind of, when you have a time and you're trying to go through these words, it takes, you want it to be able to move along, and you want to be able to have the satisfaction to be like, I got 5 words. Yeah, I got 3 words. Yeah, I got 10 words. This one was like, did you get 1 word? Nope. Or, yep, 1. That was it. That was a successful round for us. It was like 1 word. So, Cloud Control, cool idea, just didn't work in execution for us, unfortunately. So those games are not staying in my collection, and yeah, it is what it is. All right, so go for 2. We'll talk about 2 games that I really did enjoy. First one is Project L. This is a game I believe came out last year. It was on Kickstarter. I think it delivered to backers last year. I finally got my hands on a copy after I saw a number of people talking about it at the end of the year. I was like, that game looks perfect for me. And so in this game, you are going to be doing puzzly kinds of things. You're going to be using these little plastic Tetris pieces to fill in these recessed boards that are going to have these, bigger shapes, and you're going to put these little shapes on it to create, fill in the puzzle. And you're going to do this, you have a couple actions to take, you have, couple little things here and there to do, but it is just a straight puzzle game. And I love puzzle games. I mean, if you watch any of my stuff, you know anything about me, I love games that have that puzzly, spatial aspect to them. Some of my favorite games, Baron Park, I have Patchwork over there, those polyomino style games, or even games where you're just trying to mentally fill something, or tile laying games, that kind of stuff. This one, it felt like one of those games that was made for you. Like when you read about it and learn about it, you're like, that game's for me. Project L felt like a game for me. And we played it, and I played it with my wife, and I played it with my daughter, and I played it with a friend, and I just kept wanting to play it over and over and over again. And it plays so quickly, and it's so satisfying because, unlike Cloud Control, which I talked about earlier, it's a game where you're doing those puzzles over and over and over and over again, and by the end of it, you have such a satisfying stack of things that you accomplished. Where in Cloud Control, you got that 1 word. This one was like, no, I got like 20 puzzles this game. And it was super satisfying and super cool, and Project L is sticking around, and I super love it. I love it. That's it. Project L, check out my review on Instagram. I gave it a seal of awesomeness. It was super cool. So another game that just came out, or is coming out now, is Cubitos from AEG Games. AEG Games puts out some of my favorite games ever: Space Base, Calico. They did Mariposas last year, Point Salad, Truffle Shuffle, all those games. Santa Monica, they're so good. The last couple of years, they've just been, hit after hit after hit. Cubitos is their early release for this year, and it is a deck building, a pool building game. So instead of using cards, you're using these dice, and in it is a race game. So think of like, what is it? Race for El Dorado, Quest for El Dorado. That game where you're spending these cards and doing actions to move across this board. A hex board. This one is a grid-based board, and you're using these little cubes. And instead of pulling cards from your deck, you're going to roll your dice. And it also has a push your luck mechanic. So you're going to roll the dice, and if you don't bust, you get to roll them again. And then if you don't bust, you get to roll them again. But if you bust, you don't get to move. And so it has some really cool aspects to it. It all comes together really nicely. I think it's a lot of fun, and one of the cool things about it is that it has kind of that, you know, everybody talks about replayability, and I think I've said before, I don't necessarily believe in replayability in games generally, because I don't know if I or most people play games enough for replayability to really matter. But Cubitos has a ton of variety in it. And so from every single game, each of these colored cubes has 6 or 7 different cards. And so every cube can mean something different every single game. It comes with 4 different race boards also. So all of those different combinations, I have not explored all the cards. I have not used all the boards yet. And it is a ton of fun. Played it with some friends of ours that come over once a week to play games with, and we really, really enjoy Cubitos. It's staying in my collection. Really cool. Reviews just went up or is going up soon on Instagram, so check that out. But I really love Cubitos. That one was really cool. All right, and my game of the month. Game of the month should not be a surprise, but that is Project L. Like I said, this feels like a game that was made for me, and I love it. I keep wanting to play it. May really loves it too. She did the review with me. She thought it was a lot of fun. She likes puzzle games too. So it's a super satisfying game. You know, it has a really stark look. I kind of, you know, I like my abstract games to sort of have a theme to it, but I think Project L works. That would probably be the one thing that kind of pulls me back a little bit from it, but I really enjoyed Project L. It is like it's a light, streamlined kind of thing, and I love it. It's really cool. So check it out if you're into kind of a welcoming, you know, light gateway family weight puzzle game. Project L is fantastic. So I think that's it. I mean, this month I am definitely going to be reviewing fewer games than I did last year. I'm only doing maybe 2 reviews a week. Last year I had been doing 3 reviews. I was getting a little burned out from that, and I just started a new job. And that's a lot of work right now. So plugging along with that, trying to keep up with this kind of stuff, because I like to, and I like to play games, and I like to talk to nobody in my basement. There's nobody down here with me, and I like to talk to nobody about games. But you guys are watching, so I like to talk to you guys too. And I appreciate that. And I started a new series. If you missed that, I started a new series called Jordan Quickly Reviews 4 Games with Other People. This past month in January, I had on the Kirbys from We Game Together, Ryan and Bethany from Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews, and Melissa McKeck from Room 51, and we talked about games from Uwe Rosenberg, and that was a ton of fun. In February, at the end of the month, I'll be having another episode with some friends of mine that I'm not going to announce yet, because, you know, you never know if things are going to fall through. But I have a cool slate for February and for March, and we'll be doing games from some cool publishers next. I think AEG is going to be one of them, and Blue Orange is slated as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I think that's a really fun series to just kind of talk to some other people. I like to go back and, you know, talk with other people and go get riff back and forth. So that's going to be fun. I think that's it. All right, I'm really cold. Bye.